Hey YouTubers, Dr. Dismantle back for another. Today we're doing an old LG flat screen, and looks like here is the serial information on it. On all these you'll find that most of them are made in Mexico, just like this one. And often there's a date. On this one there is not, but the serial number you can usually find out when it was made, stuff like that, because you want to look at their safety data sheet before you take apart any TVs and see what kind of lead and maybe mercury might be inside. But excuse me for the glare, by the way, on the back of this. Just trying to set my studio up to have better lighting. And then it looks like over here, this one was found on the side of the road without the power cord. The power cord's like 15 bucks. I was not going to buy online, not knowing that this TV works or not. Usually there's instrumentation here. Most of these TVs are all kind of built by the same companies, things like that. This whole entire slot is blank, so LG decided to put it here and not put in any of the options for the additional HDMI, USB ports and stuff like that. But over here, it's probably, let's find out what's inside of this. Oh, looks like nothing. That's probably where a power supply is for another brand of TV. Like I said, these are all pumped out in the same factory for many different brands. But first thing I do is I take off these legs, and then I sell these legs online because often people lose them. The factory does sell new legs, but they are extremely expensive for what you're buying. So I usually offer a cheaper alternative online for people, better than going into the landfill. So for this video, our typical tools will be needle nose pliers, a small Phillips screwdriver, an automatic screwdriver with a larger long neck Phillips, wire snips, and our bucket of screws and bolts, because we always keep our screws and bolts. Great for other projects. Alright, first again I take off the legs to make it easier to work on. I have Ziplocs of all things laying around, so I just take the screws, I put them in here, and then I label the bag what model of TV this is. Alright, that's the LG 43 LF5100. Again, we save these. This is an older TV. It's likely nobody will probably buy these, but you never know. People love to hold on to their old stuff, and other people love to throw things away, just like this TV. So we will put these together into our storage. And our bucket of bolts. Usually there's screws on the framing here, and it looks like I was right. Not much on this TV though. It's probably the least amount of screws I've seen on a TV. let's find out what we see inside. So not a lot going on here. Looks like we have the motherboard here, and looks like we have the board for the display here. Not seeing the power supply board, so that might be under here somewhere. Usually that's stationed right here. You can see they use copper for the LED backlighting, aluminum heat shields, or my bad, the copper heat shields. So you want to be very careful with these, because these are capacitors here and could still carry a charge even after it's been sitting for quite some time, days, weeks. So you want to pull that out. It doesn't really matter if you damage it because you're throwing it away. Cut that. Cut this. Alright, so with these ribbons, often they go to the display board. They almost always have gold terminals here on both ends, it looks like, as well. Okay, we're going to pop these ones off too. And then remove this board. These are the mounting brackets. This is good. Always a little bit of good weight here, so we take the screws off, keep those, and scrap this. Okay. And this again is the board for the display. We have the terminals going to each side. This screen is shared by two different terminals, and then there will most likely be more circuitry on the screen where the electrical ribbon was going to, and we'll get into that. And here is the audio plug. Now you just work on popping this tab up, and it'll come right out just like that. Okay. Okay. Now, you want to be careful about these back plates, these metal back plates here. Now, as you can see here, this has capacitors, and there's electricity that stores through these capacitors for several days, sometimes weeks, and it can actually arc off of this material. So the manufacturer puts a pad there, so it's a separation pad between the chipboard, capacitors, and the metal backplating. The capacitors don't look like they come through on this board, which is good. That is definitely much safer. But those terminals there, if the capacitors did come through the board, those could be electrified, and they can arc. Okay. So now this looks like it was maybe the board for the remote receiver, something of the other. It's got a little tiny wire harness on it. See if we can take that off. And just like that. Now the speakers, they usually, in most TVs, just pop right out. They're usually held in by plastic or rubber. This is to allow movement, but also to prevent rattling. And then that comes off right there. Now these are pretty much useless unless you have another project you need speakers. You can certainly extract these and hook them up very easily with this wire harness. But a lot of times the magnets on the back are fun to play with. They're fun to extract and use for other things. Okay. That. Okay. Okay, now once you get the plastic trim around off, this generally gives you access to the screen and the many films that come behind it. This stuff is pretty much not sellable. There's nothing useful here. However, in just about all LED TVs, this is our main goal, is this circuit board here. This TV has two of these boards. These are gold fingers here, all the way down. Okay. Again, this is what we're after. These display boards, again, have these gold fingers across them. These are sold as scrap online, and you will see on other auctions and buy now ads for them and get a general price of what they're going for. Again, every TV has at least one. I've seen up to 4, maybe even 5 in one TV. They're all basically like this. It's okay if you break them. They're going to go in most likely into someone's acid bath anyways for gold extraction. But this is, again, the main prize out of these, including all the steel and screws and weight and other things like that. And then I actually separate those and put them into their own individual pile of circuit boards, and they will be sold as is. Okay, this is the first layer of the screen coming off. Alright, always underneath you have a clear film and then a white or silver film behind it. So here we got to pop off work your way around this. It comes off just like this in several pieces. Now here's the silver clear film. It's transparent. You can see my hands through it some. It's actually 2 layers here. This is the silver film and then a clear film behind it. Oh, that's actually 2 silver films. One's a little bit thicker. Okay, and here is the white film underneath. This white film is actually what I have on my workbench. I replace it out every couple of months. It works as a great surface to test things on. And then all TVs, you get down to the very back plates, the very last piece here, and they will always have this paper film here. Now here you will see the heat strips and circuitry for all the LED bulbs. These are usually aluminum backplating, but these actually are copper and LG. It's rare that you see that, but sometimes you do. And it's okay just to rip them up like this. As you can see here, copper plating. These sometimes, they usually come off real easy, these bulbs, but if they don't, you just bend it and they pop right off just like that. And then you can see in this one, the copper comes right off. Just like that. Okay. Now you actually have a ribbon of mostly copper, so this will go into dirty copper scrap, and you can ball it up like that because again it's mostly metal. Alright, let's do this again. Pop it like a pimple. Now what you want to do here is crack it like that, and then push forward. And actually it will run the copper right off the back plate. And then you want to do it on here as well. Now you really can't do these with the aluminum one like that because it is a much thicker layer. But there's your copper. And now we're down to the final back plates. This is pretty much just about it. We don't do anything other than send this to the scrap yard. We have piles of these, or just stack them up, and it is a specific grade metal that the scrap yard takes. Hey, thanks for joining me today, guys. It's Dr. Dismantle. I really hope you liked my video and found it informative. Please like and subscribe.